Hello, everybody. So happy Friday. How's things with you? Hope you're having a really good day. It is a Friday afternoon, not afternoon. You know what? I've been filming this morning and I have been tongue-tied all morning. I've really struggled to get my words out today. So I apologize if that happens during this live. But it's a Friday, so I'm forgiven, right? Can't believe we're at the end of another month, that it's the last day of April. Sometimes it feels like it's been forever since there was Christmas, and other times it feels like these last few months have just flown by. I've been quite busy in my business, preparing in the background for things that are going to be happening next month and in June, and so it just feels like the time has disappeared. So I thought I would come on here today, and I'm actually streaming across 5 different areas. So hopefully you can all see me in those areas. Feel free to comment. You may have to give StreamYard permission so I can see who you are. Otherwise, you'll just come up as user. So if you want me to see you, then just give StreamYard permission. So what am I coming on to talk about today? What's the live for? Well, I wanted to talk about reflection. It's something that I do in my business at the end of every month. It's not just evaluation, though that is important, and it's definitely something that I do. So I definitely look at how my business is performing. I look at the stats. I look at what revenue was achieved during the month. You know, what happened during the month in terms of my social, what was my audience size, how has things changed since the previous month. These are definitely things I track on a monthly basis, and at the end of the month we'll look at, for 2 reasons. One, I need to understand how I've performed during that month. But 2, it helps me in terms of developing the next month's criteria for my goals and focus and purpose and so on. So that is definitely something that I do. But in addition to that, I also have a moment of reflection. And this is more around how I felt about being in the business. Yes, it's really important to track revenue and profit and all of that. That's really great. And we want to see those tracking nicely. But I'm in my business because I wanted to change the way I was living my life. I wanted more flexibility and I wanted the business to really work for me, which means I need to take a moment to see if that is actually happening. How is that changing? What is my work-life balance been like? What's my well-being been like over the last month? How has the business impacted my life, and how has my life impacted the business? So when I'm looking at the month, I'm not just thinking about what I've achieved, I'm thinking about how I felt. You know, how do I feel about things within my business? How do I feel about my social media? How do I feel about my services and solutions? How do I feel about my clients? How do I feel about certain sessions? And I really try to get an understanding of what's working for me. What am I enjoying? What am I struggling with? And the stuff that I'm enjoying, I want to do more of that. I want to find a way of getting more of that into my business. That's really important. And if I don't understand what it is that I'm enjoying and why I'm enjoying it, it's hard to replicate it. So I really do focus in on that. You know, how has the month felt? Has managing my business felt easier? Because really it should be. Each month should be getting a little bit easier in terms of overall how I feel about the business in terms of my control and working in it. That doesn't mean I don't have bad days, because I do. I've had a couple of stressful days earlier this week, which I've got to be honest, I was tearing my hair out, and I had a good scream on one of those days just to get the anger and the frustration out. That's normal. You're never going to have a business that every single day of the month is going to be perfect. There is no such thing as a perfect business. What we do is we look at the month overall and we say, what are the good days versus the bad days? And this is how I judge the performance within the business. If I was to judge my business based purely on those 2 days that I was stressed out or frustrated with things, I would feel like my business is failing in some way, or that I'm failing as a business owner and I'm just not enjoying it. So why bother? Well, that's the baby out with the bathwater scenario, isn't it? Because that's not how I feel about my business. That is one moment in time, and it happens to all of us. It doesn't matter how experienced you are. It doesn't matter how good you are as a business owner or how successful your business is. There's going to be a time within the month that is frustrating, difficult, challenging. This is just life. This is reality. What we do in those scenarios is we try and learn from it. We try to understand why it happened, and could we do something that would stop it happening again? Could we do something that would reduce its impact to us and our business? Could we outsource something that we find difficult or frustrating? Could we remove something from our business so that it isn't there? If there's a particular product or a service that you find really frustrating in terms of delivering, why are you doing it? This is your business. This is about working in the way that you want to. So don't judge your performance within the business, and don't judge your business based on a few bad days. They're going to happen. Base it on overall, how have you felt throughout the month? And I know that if I took those few days, I would feel very differently about how I performed in April. But actually, April was a really good month for me. I've seen an increase in my business. I've made headway in terms of the changes, which I'm really excited about. And that's really coming together nicely. This week, despite a couple of days where I was really stressed out and frustrated, actually it's been one of the better weeks, because I have a lot more clarity around the changes that are coming, and it's all slotting in lovely. That's how I feel about this month. On reflection, that's how I feel about this month. Taking the time to think about what has worked and the good stuff really enables me to see the balance in the business. Yes, maybe some things haven't worked out the way that I would like, but that doesn't stop the good stuff having happened. The good stuff was still good, right? And that's what I want to focus in on. So when reflecting in your business, I guess the message here is, yes, look at the stats, look at the revenue, look at the profits, look at what was delivered within the business, new customers, leads, social media audience, engagement, insights. All of these things are really important things to measure. But do not forget how you feel about being in the business. Do not forget what it's like to work in the business. After all, you're creating a business that needs to work for you. It needs to deliver for your needs as much as it needs to deliver for your clients. So don't forget yourself in this equation. If you have had a difficult month overall, really try to understand why. Is it where your life and your business are intersecting that's made things difficult? Is it something within the business that has made it quite a challenging month? What could you put in place to help you overcome that moving forward? How could you make that different? So definitely take into account your feelings. Now, I know in bigger organizations, we don't tend to worry about that. When I've been in bigger businesses, we're not sitting there asking every employee about how they felt about the month. We just have too much emotion and data, and it wouldn't be relevant. But as a small business, the way you feel about your business is probably the most important marker, because it's your business. You are emotionally connected to your business. Your business was created to do something for you, change your life in some way. And if it's not doing that, you need to take stock, and you need to think about, what can I do to make sure that it does work for me, that it is the right business for me? It's really easy to go down a path that you think you should be going down. And this is a live that I'll be doing probably next week, my shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? It's very easy to get carried away with what other people are doing and see that as something that you want to be doing in your business. There's lots of things that other business mentors and coaches are doing that I'm choosing not to do, because quite frankly, I don't want to do them. They're not where I want my business to go. But it'd be really easy to fall into that trap as, actually, to be successful, that's what I need to do. So again, this whole reflection piece is really about, where am I on my business journey? And is my business at the same place that I am at the moment? That's the questions we're asking ourselves. Does something need to change? And it could be that maybe there's something in you that needs to change. Maybe it's the way you're viewing the business. Maybe it's the way you're showing up in the business. Be honest with yourself. If you've had a tough month productivity wise and you've been really struggling to deliver and you're not getting stuff done, ask the question, is it just process? Is it just workload? Or is a part of it the way that I'm showing up? Maybe I'm not showing up at the right times. Maybe I haven't been as enthusiastic about certain projects, so therefore I found it a little bit harder to get into stuff. Because we all do that, right? If we've got a job on our to-do list and it's not something that we enjoy, we are probably going to sideline it or do it a little bit later. We're going to huff and puff about it and it's going to take twice as long to get done. So ask the questions about how you have performed in the business. And there's no point glossing it over and saying, oh, well, actually, you know, I did really well considering. Yeah, that might be the case, but ask the question. Did you do what you needed to do? Did you show up in the way that you needed to show up? If not, why? What is it that stopped you showing up? What is it that stopped you doing what you needed to do? Is it the way you felt about it? Are you having a difficult time? And if so, you may need to make allowances in the business. Again, this is your business. If you're going through a rough time personally, your business should be supporting that, not pushing against it. You've got enough stress in your life. So make some allowances. If that means cutting back a little bit in certain areas, pulling back in certain areas, again, this is what the reflection is for. It highlights to us where we are struggling and what we might need to do to remedy that. And there'll be some things that we just have to accept we need to make change on, even if it's just for the short term, that allows us to get over that, to get back to where we need to be. So at the end of every month, I always do this reflection. Do you take the opportunity to really sit and think about how you and your business is performing? How you feel about it? Is this working? Are you creating your dream business, or have you created a business that is what someone else would have created as their dream business, but it's not really yours? Make these changes. Take the time to listen to yourself. How do you feel about it? If you don't enjoy it and you don't like it, change it. Take the time to really think about it. Now, you can journal it if you're someone who likes journaling. You can sound it out. Walk around the house, sound it out. Talk to yourself. Do what you need to do to get that thought process out, to understand how you've actually felt about something and how the business is performing. So that's really just what I quickly wanted to come on today and talk about, reflection. It's a really important part of being a business owner, I think. Yes, you know, the stats and all of that is very important, and I would never say that they're not. We want to see our revenues climbing. We want to see our profits climbing. We want our audience to be growing the right way. We want to have more leads coming through. We want consistent revenue streams. We want engagement in our social media. We want to be having meaningful conversations. All of that is a given, right? These are all the things that we want in our business. But we also want to be happy in our business. We want to be in a business that we enjoy. We want to be in a business that we feel in control of and that is easy to work in. What we don't want is more stress and difficulty in our lives. If our business is creating that, then we need to change it. So take the time to think about it. So let me know if reflection is something that you add into your end of month, as well as looking at all of your stats. Do you do journaling with it? How do you use that? Is it just a mindfulness moment where you really sit and think about what the month has been like for you? What was working, what hasn't, what was challenging, what were you rubbing up against throughout the month, and how your emotions and feelings might have ebbed and flowed with the different things that were happening in your business. So share with me your thoughts on reflection. I really do think it's an important part of being a small business owner. I don't think it's enough to understand how the business is performing. I need to understand how I'm performing as a business owner. I am the crucial link in my business, so I've got to make sure that I am performing at my peak and I understand what that looks like and how to get there. What's my well-being like? What's my work-life balance like? How do I feel about it? Yeah, if I'm not enthused about being into the business, I'm not going to be as productive, which means I'm not going to get the output, and so on and so on. So don't forget yourself in the equation of evaluating your business every single month. So have a lovely Friday, have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you all in May. Have a great day. Bye-bye.